Alright, so they just called me and said my brake parts are finally in, because I went down this morning because they didn't call me to tell me that they weren't in. And they're like, yep, not here. I think that's wonderful. So we just got done plowing out all the snow, since there's a lot of it came down last night. So I'm gonna go get those parts, and I'll see you back in the shop when I'm pulling the master cylinder out. Alright, so I just got back from the part store. Hopefully it's the right kit. You know, I've noticed things aren't always super easy on the Buick, but we got her jacked up nice and high so I can squeeze underneath here and pull out the old master cylinder, which, if we get down here, it is right there. So that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. I'm going to try to remember what tools I used. That way I can tell you. So that way you don't have to go, is that the right tool? Nope. Is that the right socket? Nope. Nope. So I'll be back. So I'm right here under the car, and this is the master cylinder here. We have a fitting that goes in for the brake line. That is a 1/2 inch. And what I would recommend using is, if you have it, like I don't, but my dad does, is the, I believe it's called like a pipe wrench or a hardline wrench. I don't know the exact name. If you know the name of these wrenches, comment it below. My dad's told me what it was called a while ago. He said you always use these on like fuel lines or brake lines, because you will not strip that. You strip that, you could be in a world of hurt trying to get that out, you know. Just use the right wrench. Then the other bolts right here are 9/16. So, and they're gonna have to use a socket, so I'm gonna put the wrench on the back side and socket the out. And then if you look a little bit over yonder, we got a spring right there to pull it back, and some sort of mechanical system right here that goes up to the brake pedal. So we're going to be pulling this little pin right here to release it, so we don't have to adjust anything. It can go right back in how it was. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this out, and I'll see you at the bench. So we're looking towards the front of the car. This is the back of the master cylinder. This bolt on the right side is a nightmare to get out. I had to put a wrench up top. You can see it. I stuck it in there. Got it kind of lined, came down underneath here, and used my fingers through these little tiny holes on this bracket to get it. It's a nightmare. I'm not looking forward to doing it, put it back in. But what helped was having one of the wrenches that has a swivel end on it. So I put that end on it. Thankfully I got the right side correct, guessing. And yeah, it's loose. It's going to come off now, and this one will be out within 30 seconds. Alright, so I just pulled this back. There's a clip in here I got to pull out to get this out. I took the cap off, drained it of most of the brake fluid, and I want to get this off. So I'm going to go ahead and get these pulled off so I can get it cleaned up and see what we're working with. So when you do pull this out, it's going to dump a whole bunch of fluid even if you empty it first. So I'm just going to remember that's how this piece went in there. I believe that one's going to be replaced. So there's more in there, which I'm going to pull off the other side and see if it's just some sort of plunger, and then they're just, oop, she's a squirter. So I'm going to pull that out on the other side, hopefully get it exposed. So, be back. To get this bolt off, I had to put in the vise, grab on it to here with a crescent wrench to get it free, because I could not get it to clamp anywhere else. So I just clamped the bolt. It was on there, tight. It's behind that screw. I recognize that part from the tool, or from the kit, so looks like we got the right kit. And just trying to remember how it all goes in there, because, you know, brakes, we want to make sure they're done right. So we just got it honed out, so it's all nice and clean in there. You want it to be nice and beautiful. You got to have the seal. Got to build pressure. So very important. Make sure you do it right. You can see it's not all pitted or corroded, so I don't have to sleeve it. Try this again. I'm going to try to go the reverse way. I'm going to push that in. Then the cap. Make sure it's clean. That's going in. Then we're going to take this way in first. So we're going to get it kind of started right there. Then we're going to take our rod. And I'm going to get the clip in it. Real good. I don't know. That one worked. Should have used the old one to begin with. So this side goes inward. We're going to take this. Use our man strength. And she is rebuilt. So hopefully, I think the seal on that one was bad. This guy, it looks pretty smashed down and wore out. It was leaking out the back, so we'll see. Hopefully I won't be pulling this back out of the car. Especially because that one piece really sucked. So I'm going to put her back in the vise. I'm going to make sure she's tight. So this wrench right here, this is a BAW, Bob Aruda wrench. This was my grandpa's best friends. He's the one that did the drag race with my grandpa, and they built the Fiat. So you got yourself your Bob Aruda wrench. She's back on there tight. Oh, we almost forgot. I gotta put this on, so I'm gonna have to pull this nut off. So I'm gonna have to pull this part off right here so we can get the boot on. should tighten that back down. That way I know where it's kind of at. Oh, dang, they got that thing threaded in there. I counted how many threads I had cleaned up with it, because I'm going to need it not to have that bolt on that nut. Worst case scenario, I'll have to adjust it a little bit in the car. Not everything can be easy and perfect. Look at that. We just got to get it put back on, and we need to bench bleed it. Also, when I did the honing, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I used brake fluid for the lubrication instead of WD-40. My grandpa recommended doing that. He said a lot of people use WD-40. He says just use the brake fluid. And that looks about where we were at. So it's important to bench bleed it though. That way you get all the air out of the master cylinder, because you don't want to push the air into your brake lines and have to make your bleeding even worse. Alright, so what we're doing now is we're bench bleeding it. Getting some fluid in there. And we're just pumping the brakes. Oh, she's a squirter. So, I can't wait to clean up this mess. I'd say that's pretty good. We got fluid coming out nice and clear. It's time to put this old beast back in the Buick. Put the lid on it so it doesn't leak out. Again, I can't wait to put this bolt back in. That's the one that's really hard to get to. So, but that's it. Really simple. Like I said, I've never done this before. I know I worked at Les Schwab, but I did brakes at that time. I mean, I was in the brake section. I did everything that they told me to do. Never had to rebuild one. Could I have done it? Well, I just did. So, yeah, I think I could have done it. Maybe they should have paid me a reasonable rate and I would have stayed working for them. But they missed that opportunity. So, I'm going to go ahead and get this back in there. And I'm not going to bleed the brakes tonight because I got to take off the brake lines next. I got some bad brake lines, so I'm going to get those replaced. Why have the car in the shop? No point of rebuilding this just to have a brake line go out and I lose brakes driving on the highway. So, gonna go put this bad boy in and I'll see you shortly. Alright, so master cylinder's back in. Looks good. I haven't leak checked yet because I don't want to bleed the brakes more than they already are, because I'm going to be pulling brake lines. Because tomorrow when I'm in town, I'm going to grab brake lines for it, because the passenger front, I noticed the other day, it had a little piece missing out of it. It looked like it was a little old. And like I said earlier, you don't want to lose brakes. Not a fun time. Done it once. I was going slow. Still couldn't get the car stopped until I may or may not have love tapped the pillar. So, I'm gonna get brakes on this thing, finish the windows. I got that dent out pretty good. You know, we're gonna just slowly but surely get her nice and cleaned up. I really want to get the front clip done. It's a priority, but it's not. I'm gonna probably try to pull spark plugs, check spark plugs, make sure they're looking good. Because like I said, I'm getting this thing. She's gonna be my daily driver. So, or he. Chubbs is the boy. So, there it is. Make sure if I helped you out at all. If you have any questions, any comments, let me know. The brake parts rebuild kit was a MCK3626 by Brake Bests. So, if you have a 54 Buick, I'm assuming all the makes of the 54, if they're just the manual brakes, not the power brakes. I'm assuming probably 55, 56, 7, somewhere around there. It should work. Don't quote me on that. I just know this one works for the 54. So, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and come back for the next video.